Well, hello, this is the week 4 Hangout. Nobody has joined me as of yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on this week. Um, if you're an AOC1, you're going to be learning about application settings, how to use NS user defaults to save and load user settings across multiple runs of your application. Um, how to use prepare for segue and how to use that to pass back data with an unwind segue. So instead of passing back your data with a protocol and delegate pattern this week, you'll be taking that out and using an unwind segue to pass back the data from the second view to the first view instead. There's also some information about going to another view controller conditionally. There's, if you look in the text for the assignment, you should see a link to information about a method called should perform segue with identifier, and you can use that instead of prepare for segue to conditionally return, so that you can have the segue check to see whether you have entered something, or if you've left the text entry blank. If the text entry is blank, you can get out of the prepare for the segue and go back and require them to enter something, and then if they have entered something, you can, on that condition, go ahead with the segue. Let's see, you're going to learn a little bit about inheritance. Okay, and your project for this week is going to be similar to the one you had last week, except for, as I said, you're going to be taking out the protocol delegate pattern and replacing that with an unwind segue for passing back the data instead. And you're also going to be saving your data to NS user defaults so that it can be saved and then loaded back in again later after the application is closed. You can open it back up and have it load the information back in. Now, normally NS user defaults is used to save things like settings, not larger amounts of data, but we're just using this assignment to kind of show you how it works. Let's see here. Okay, so that about covers it. If you are in AOC2, you're going to learn a little bit about view animations and when to use them and how to use them to make your apps a little more interesting. Gestures, so how to use a swipe gesture to move instead of a button. So you're going to be using gestures, the swipe gesture, to move from one view to the other view instead of clicking on a button. Now notice that there's information about how to do this with code, and there's also information about how to do it with storyboard, and you don't need to do both. You know, you choose one method or the other. Information about the file manager, how to get the path to directories on the file system, and how to use the NS file manager object to list the files in a directory and to determine if a file exists, and how to create a file, and how to use the application settings, how to use NS user defaults to save and load user settings across multiple runs of your application, how to launch Safari. So this gives you a beginning idea on how to make applications that are both native and use the web. Prepare for segue, passing back data with an unwind segue, swipe gestures with storyboard segues, and go into another view controller conditionally, okay, which are, except for the swipe gesture, as I just described for AOC1. Now you're going to do pretty much the same thing that AOC1 needs to do, except that is you're going to take out the protocol delegate pattern and put in the unwind segue instead to pass back your data from your second view to your first view of your event planner that you did last week. You can start with a new project if you want, or you can start with the project that you did last week. Let's see, you guys have to pass back the date as well as the text event. So that's a little bit different for AOC2. Okay, and you have to do the swipe gesture instead of the button press here. And as I said, there are two ways to do it. You can do it with code, or you can do it with the storyboard segues, and you don't want to mix the two really. There's no need to put in the code and do it with the storyboard as well. Choose one method or the other. In my opinion, the segue storyboard method is a lot easier. Okay, and that's about it for this week. If you have any trouble, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to help you. Talk to you later. Bye.